Now we have one word for the underground spiritual game. Everybody, you say ayakata. Everybody, ayakata. And now you see, you are talking like white man. White man, when you talk small. Speed. No, man. African, we talk with black man, talk with all our mouths, man. Everybody, ayakata. Ayakata. Okay, let's go now.
First and foremost, I'm going to say all honor and praises be to Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS, and shalom to all the sincere Akim out there teaching out there on the highways and byways and truth and sincerity. I'm going to just do a quick one. Well, hopefully it's pretty quick, because what I plan to do as well is to insert a few clips and basically examples, of the fact that that the Nigerians are Israelites too. Now, I'm personally from Ghana, which isn't too far from Nigeria, which is also in the west coast of Africa, man. But that's the thing, man. If you're in this faith and you're in the spirit of, someone's from Ham, so he's from the actual land of Ham, so he's definitely he's a heathen. He ain't gonna make it. He's definitely heathen. Then you're just an idiot, man. Because the scripture clearly says time and time again that the 12 tribes of Israel will be scattered among all people from the face of the earth, man. Now, even if we fast forward from the prophecies of us being scattered to actually us being sold in slavery, where did the slaves come from, man? Where did the slaves come from? Now, Jake would say, if you didn't go in the slave ships to America, then you ain't an Israelite, which is retarded, which is absolutely retarded, because at the same time that the slave trade took place, you had slaves who fled. In fact, I have an oral account that got passed down from my grandmother onto my mom, who actually told me that my mom's side of the family, had like kings and so on and so forth in the western part of Africa. And the story that she told me was that, according to the oral history that got passed down was that during the slave trade, the aristocrats of the society, when the slave trade was actually taking place, those who were rich fled from the coast to flee being in slavery. So even in slavery, when Jakes were actually getting sent on ships, you always had Jakes who fled going into slavery, and on top of that, we were in that portion of land in the western part of Africa for 1,000 years, having sex, so on and so forth. It's like, to actually believe that every single Hebrew Israelite in the western part of Africa during the time of slavery just got scooped over to America, then you're just a retard. Let's go into the precepts though, and I'm gonna give you a few examples of guys from Nigeria who were Israelites. Actually, I'll give one example, of one guy who's I know he's an Israelite. I believe wholeheartedly that he's an Israelite, man, because of his music. But what I'm going to do first and foremost is read Ezekiel chapter 11:6. Therefore say, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, although I have cast them far among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries whither they shall come. So the Lord is saying here that even though he's cast 12 tribes of Israel among the heathen, and even though he scattered them among all the countries, yet will I be to them a little sanctuaries in the countries that they shall come. Now, primarily speaking, in the camp that we've got here, man, in England, man, in the UK, you have a good portion of the brothers in our camp are from Nigeria. You have brothers from Zimbabwe in the camp, from Ghana, from Eritrea, from the land of Kush, and so on and so forth. But we all believe that we are Israelites, man, and you can't deny our faith, because our faith is based upon the scriptures, and according to the scriptures, the 12 tribes of Israel were prophesied to be scattered abroad. Like, do you really believe that the slave trade happened, and Esau was to pinpoint and grab up every Israelite to just be in slavery? It don't make sense. You believe that he came, he took his ships and brought over every Israelite into America? That's stupid. Because at the same time the transatlantic slave trade was taking place, where Jake was getting sent to Brazil and the Caribbean and so on and so forth, you also had slave trades taking place in Europe. You also had slave trades taking place in India, man. So are you now going to say, because those Jakes aren't in America, but they are actually descendants of people who got sent into slavery in England and Europe and so forth, aren't Israelites? If you're saying just because they ain't in America, they didn't get sent to America, just because they ain't in fucking Harlem, just there, with the damn hat tipped to the side, yeah, I'm from Harlem, B. Just because they ain't doing that. See, you know what, yeah? A good portion of you guys who scoff ain't spiritual, because some of you guys, man, guy might come to the camp, he's clearly a Jake, but because he talks like this with an African accent, because he talks a certain way, you will turn him away, which is stupid. Like, don't you read the scriptures, man? And to stay on the point, them guys in Nigeria, man, those are some niggas, man. Those are a bunch of Judites, man. Like, I'm personally from London, man. prior to that came the faith, man. As a testimony, not a glorification of myself, or not to glorify it. Well, I've personally been in gangs, man. In all these gangs in London, man, it's just a mixture of guys from the Caribbean and guys from the West Coast, man. And I've seen that. I've seen just it's always Jake from Nigeria there, man. With guys from Ghana, with guys from the Caribbean, man, just mixed. All of the guys that you see, in the rap scene of here, man, in England, spitting the bar fitness flows. A good portion of them are from Nigeria, man, or from Ghana, or from Sierra Leone, or whatever, man. But I'm gonna just keep going into the scriptures, and then I'm gonna go into my prime example. This is Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. So the Lord specified in verse 64, before you get to 68, that He will scatter thee, the Israelites, among all people. So He specified that you gonna be scattered amongst all the people, from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, neither wood and stone. And among these nations shall thou find no ease. That's why you have Jake catching hell in India, man. You have Jake catching hell in Japan. You have Jake catching hell in Ghana. You have Jake catching hell in Nigeria. But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and fail in the eyes and sorrow of mind. And if I skip down, it says in 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So that Egypt where it's talking about is what spiritually talking about the actual land of America, man. But the question to ask yourself is, where did the slaves come from, man? Where did the slaves come from, man? The slaves were centered in the western portion of Africa, man. So we can go to Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84, which we already know what it says. But what I'm going to do now is actually give an example of basically Jake in Nigeria, right, as of this day, calling themselves as Jews. Now, even though they're following the practices of the so-called Jews in Judaism, the spirit of Israel is out there. It says Igbo Jews are members of the Igbo people of Nigeria who practice the form of Judaism but are not recognized as Jews by the mainstream Jewish community. That's right, because really they know they're the real Jews. And it says, but if you go into historical accounts, man, it says an early and widely influential statement from an Igbo man, Oluwa da Equino, a Christian educated free slave, suggested a migratory origin of the Igbo Jews. He remarked in his autobiography of 1789, and it says, the strong analogy, which means similarities, which appears to prevail in manners and customs of my countrymen, which is talking about them guys in Nigeria, specifically, of his tribe, which that word Igbo goes back to the word Iba, which means Hebrew, man. And it says the strong analogy, which appears to prevail in the manners and customs of my countrymen and those of the Jews before they reached the land of promise, and particularly the patriarchs while they were yet in that pastoral state which is described in Genesis. An analogy, which means a similarity, which alone would induce me to think that the one people sprung from the other. So you actually had a Jake, man, even back in the 1700s. Look at that. A straight up Jake, man. A straight up Jake, man. Look at this, man. A straight up Jake, yeah, who's basically like a scholar, man, you know. And he said straight up, man, the people I live, like the people I'm with, he's a free slave, man, who basically got in a position to read the scriptures. When he read the scriptures, man, he said, look, man, the customs in the Bible of what my people are doing right now, that's what the 12 tribes of Israel do. So he actually said, like, I'm not saying he woke up to this truth and started teaching out there with the 12 tribe sign. No, but he said the customs of the Jews is like my people, man. And when he brought this statement back then, he had bare scoffers, man, because they really didn't want that truth to be out there, which really it wasn't that time. Now, before I give a few examples, the scripture I'm gonna read now is Deuteronomy 7:6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord, Yahweh thy power, have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So you got to understand that as the 12 tribes of Israel being the people of Yahweh, a special spirit is going to be upon us. Even though we are under the curses, man, we are the princes of the power, man. So as the scripture has prophesied that we will be scattered amongst all people and nations, it means this: everywhere we go, as the sons of God, even though we are under the curses, man, as the people of the Most High, a special lively spirit will be upon us, man. Even in Peter's, it says that what we are what lively stones. A royal priesthood, which first and foremost starts with the 12 tribes of Israel, the elect, you know. But the point is that we are what, like a lively people, man. So the prime example I'm gonna give today, which I'm sure so far in the video you've heard some of his music, is my favorite artist, which I probably play him. I play this guy's music every day, man. He's one of my favorite. He's one of the best, in my opinion. So this is a man by the name known as Fela Kuti, man. And after seeing his clips, after hearing his music at the start of the video, you can't tell me he's a Hamite, man. It says Fela Kuti Olufela Olusegun Oludotun Ransome Kuti, known professionally as Fela Kuti or Fela Anikwalapao Kuti, or simply Fela, was a Nigerian multi-instrumentalist. So far it says a Nigerian multi-instrumentalist. So he had talent, a musician, a composer. So he composed music, a pioneer of the Afrobeat music genre, man. And spiritually, Jake always set trends, especially the tribe of Judah, man. That he actually pioneered a form of music which is done today in Africa, man, and all around the world, man. You know, humans. So on top of being a multi-instrumentalist, a musician, a composer, a pioneer of a style of music, he also was a human rights activist and a political maverick. Now,
everybody say yeah, yeah. Everybody say yeah, yeah. Right. All of us to the first election, and the second election all in Nigeria, and the second election like it was a pass. Babala nonsense. He passed the rigging. He passed corruption. Which kind of election be this? Babala nonsense. Babala nonsense. People not go vote. Them come get big numbers. Thousands to thousands. Millions to millions. Which kind of election be this? Babala nonsense. Babala nonsense. Now them monkey receive that you. Now them monkey receive that you. Kuti shall see the monkey receive. Bumbuch, na oniboti she was. Na onibo for Europe. Oyibo teaches many things. Many of them things I don't sing about. Me I no credit over me Oyibo style. Let us think say Oyibo no pass me. But Shagari finish him in elections. But them not tell him say he make mistake. Say this you don't be democracy. Oyibo them not tell myself. That for England I mean not fit take over. I come think about this democracy. Democracy, democracy, crazy, demonstration of grace.
what you gotta understand also is that it's spiritual, right? See, all things are spiritual. Now, the years in which he shined very hard in music was, during the late 60s and 70s. Really during the time of the 70s, man. Going on to the late 70s and even into the 80s, man. And the thing is, if you hear his style of music, it actually sounds like the jazz made in the States during that same time period, because it's a spiritual thing. Because spiritually, he's an Israelite, man. So during that time period of his 70s and so on and so forth, that vibration of jazz music and funk, it was out there, man. But the Spirit got upon this man and tons of other Jakes, in that land of Nigeria, man, to push out that music, man. Fela Kuti is an Israelite, man, and if I go into the really, I'll just play his music and play his clips, yeah. And I'm gonna bring out a quick fact on this guy, man. See, this guy was so tapped, so talented, yeah, that they came to a stage where he actually you know what this guy did? He actually married 27 women at the same time. I was stuttering, so I'll say that again. This guy a jazz musician, a composer of music. He one time just said, look, I want to marry 27 different women at the same time. And you're telling me this guy's a Hamite? Come on, man. This is actually his picture with all of his wives, man. Which this guy eventually died of AIDS, you know. But this guy said, look, man, I ain't just gonna have the same woman, man. He just said, fuck it, I'm gonna marry 27 at the same wedding, man. And this guy was, you know, was talented, man. Look at this Jake. Jake's got a fur coat on with some holes around him, man. Yo. Now, I don't really need to make this video too long, but I'm gonna play his music. I'm gonna play his clips in the background. And if you believe this guy is a Hamite, then you just ain't right, man. So really, like, the point is, 12 tried to scatter amongst all people. And if you believe that somehow just every Israelite, just somehow when the slave trade happened, every Israelite just left, you know, the land of Nigeria and so on and so forth, then you're bugged out, man, because the scripture says we're scattered amongst all people. And really, the main thing is about this faith, because you are going to get people in this faith who are from that country as well. But guess what? If you believe you are an Israelite, that's all it is. You don't need your papers to prove you're an Israelite, because guess what? No Israelite on this earth has his papers to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man, to prove that he's an Israelite. Well, we really go back on to Israel, man. You know, you ain't got your papers, man, to prove you're an Israelite. So everything's based upon faith. So with that, I'm saying, shalom.
We never talk before. Oh, they see me.